Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 64 of the Toronto Thunderbirds franchise here on Madden NFL 22. And today I have a very different episode, one that I've never done here on the channel. But today we're going to be wrapping up the Toronto Thunderbirds series. This is the last episode of this series here on the channel. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a year 3 sim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just prep what's going on since the off season, and then I'm going to sim the season. I'll pick you guys up at the end. We'll see if we made the playoffs or not. If we do, we'll probably jump in, see what the playoff run looks like, and then kind of just recap the season and then call it a series, because I just don't think I have enough time for a third year in this franchise. Plus, it's kind of falling off, and I want to get ready for Madden 23 because I do want to do Madden 23 when it comes out. So expect Madden 23 here on the channel as we kind of reintroduce some of the sports elements here on the channel. So if you are excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Well, before we jump into year 3, let's kind of look back at year 2 real quickly. And year 2, we won the Super Bowl. We beat the Baltimore Ravens 28-21 to win our first ever championship here on the channel. Antonio Gibson was the Super Bowl MVP. It's because he had a record-breaking season, just kind of capped it all off. I apologize again. I'm recording this one right after the Cubs one I did yesterday, so Thunder is still going on in the background. But this year is just kind of, can we defend our Super Bowl title? Can we defend what we won last season? In terms of the offseason, we made one big move, and that's address the quarterback position because Fitzpatrick was getting older. Fitzpatrick is still on the team, but the new starter is Derek Carr. He was traded from the Las Vegas Raiders because they picked up Russell Wilson in the offseason, and Carr is the new starting quarterback. We had to give up a future first and De'Ami Brown to get him, but Derek Carr is your quarterback for this year, so we'll see if he can lead the Thunderbirds to another championship. The other move we made in the offseason is we signed left end D Ford to a one-year contract. Matthew Ioannidis accepted a 2-year, $18 million contract with the Cardinals. So in order to replace him, we had D Ford because we didn't have a lot of salary cap money. Plus, we have a lot of big free agents this year, so I didn't want to overspend this offseason. He had 15 tackles for a loss and 3.5 sacks last year with the Rams, so he's still a very capable player. We did, like I said, lose Matthew Ioannidis to the Cardinals. That was the big loss in the offseason. And we also lost Landon Collins to a preseason deal with the Browns because I wanted to bring him back, just not in the offseason. Well, he actually went to the Browns in preseason as a backup strong safety. So in order to fill that strong safety spot, we decided to do it in-house. We're going to give Derek Forrest a chance to be our strong safety this year. He's been a backup for the past couple of seasons. I think he is ready to kind of showcase his skills. He plays a lot like Landon Collins, more of that box safety role. He's not going to hit as hard as Collins, but I think, younger at the position, a little faster. I think Derek Forrest has deserved a chance. So that's what we did in free agency. I didn't show you the draft episode. We didn't really have a very eventful draft. We actually ended up with 5 picks. I did a lot of trading down, a lot of trading out because I didn't really like the way the board fell. And our first pick was in the second round, the 11th pick of the second round. We picked wide receiver Jordan Whittington out of Texas. He was our first selection. Normal dev. We didn't really hit a lot. I don't know if we really hit any home runs this draft, but Jordan Whittington, I wanted to draft a wide receiver because, one, I liked the wide receiver class a lot. Plus, I wanted to replace De'Ami Brown. And I think Zay Flowers is capable of, but I wanted to add some more depth. So Jordan Whittington was the pick in the second round. Then in the third round, our last pick of the third round, we went to cornerback, and I wanted a good value pick here. We picked Jammie Robinson out of Florida State. 73 overall, normal dev. We didn't really need a corner, but this was a great value pick. I think he was projected like late 4th round, but had like late 1st round talent. So I couldn't really pass up on that value. So Jammie Robinson, he has low 70s for both coverages, but I think with time that could improve. So I thought that was a good 3rd round value pick. In the 4th round, we went back to wide receiver, and I selected Jalen Cropper out of Fresno State. Just another wide receiver depth. Maybe, we'll fight for some time in a couple of years. But like I said, we didn't really have a home run draft. He's very fast, though, 96 speed. And I think with that speed, he could be, he could take the top off the defense if he can get his release and deep route up some. He also, I think, has 75 kick returns. So if Antonio Gibson gets hurt, Jalen Cropper could fill in as a kick returner. With our fourth selection, it was in the 5th round. We took a strong safety to get some more depth there, and it was Rashad Wisdom out of UTSA. Like I said, we lost Collins, so I wanted to, maybe find some guy who could fight for that spot. And Wisdom, he's very raw. He's got decent speed for strong safety, but that's really all he has. He has good pursuit, but coverage-wise, he has a long way to go. And in the 6th round, we took halfback Eric Gray out of Oklahoma. Just, I wasn't sure what the future is with Antonio Gibson, because despite the fact he's had 2 record-breaking seasons, he is a free agent after this year, and I'm not entirely sure if we want to give him that long-term contract. So Eric Gray is just kind of a, reserve running back spot. So he's got good speed and just about okay at everything else. So we didn't really have a big off-season, specifically in the draft. But now it is time for year 3. I'll show you the schedule. As here, we'll start off with our defending of the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday night. That is a huge game to start the season. Then we were going to go on the road against the Cowboys and the Eagles, play the Seahawks at home, play the Eagles at home, play the Rams at home, 3 straight games, and that's the Scott Turner, revenge game. Then we have our bye week. Then we face the Arizona Cardinals, host the Giants, host the Patriots, go to the Dolphins to play Deshaun Watson, host the Panthers, and that's Ron Rivera coming back to town. And then we go to Green Bay, host the Jets, who are a playoff team, go to San Francisco, host the Cowboys, and end with road games against the Bills and the Giants in the division. So that's what our schedule looks like. But now I'm going to go ahead and simulate the season. This is going to take me a while, so I will see you guys once the season has been simmed. Alright, we've simmed ahead to the end of the regular season, and our Toronto Thunderbirds did make the playoffs. They finished 11-6, and that was enough to get a playoff berth. We didn't win the division, the Cowboys won it, but we make the playoffs as the 5 seed. Now, it was a very interesting season for the Thunderbirds. We'll take a look at the schedule. I'll show you what happened. So we started off with back-to-back losses. We lost to the Chiefs in a close one, then we lost to the Cowboys. Then we destroyed the Eagles 49-21, and then lost to the Seahawks. And from here, we just traded wins and losses back and forth. We lost to the Seahawks, beat the Eagles, lost to the Rams. Right at this point, we're 2-5, which is not a good record. Actually, excuse me, we are 2-4. Then we had a bye week, then we beat the Cardinals, so we're 3-4. Then we lost to the Giants. We're sitting 3-5, and this is where the season turned around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight wins. And then we lost a blowout to the Cowboys. And then we ended up with 2 straight wins. So we won 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of our last 9 games. So we actually are a very hot team going into the postseason. I'll show you the standings though real quick. It was a very interesting year around the league. The best team was the Saints. They finished 16-1. Malik Willis and company out there are really starting to get together. Best team in the AFC, Las Vegas Raiders. So I think the trade to get Russell Wilson has really paid off for them. We'll go by division. The AFC North, it was the Ravens, last year's representative of the AFC in the Super Bowl, who won that division 10-7. The 9-8 Bengals made it, as well as the 8-9 Browns. It was a very top-heavy year this year, so a lot of teams who didn't have the best records made it the postseason. In the South, the Titans won 13-4. In the East, it was the Buffalo Bills who went 10-7. The Jets started off well, but they just nosedived, losing 6 straight to just drop out of the season. Fortnite is updated. Maybe one day I will jump back on that game. The Raiders 14-3. The Chiefs, though, were 13-4, so they were right behind the Raiders in that division. In the NFC, the Bears, this is what I'm talking about. Bears won their division going 8-9. It's a very weak division. Actually, a 3-way tie for that spot, but it goes to the Bears. South was the Saints, 16-1, but the Falcons at 9-8 also made it. In the East, the Cowboys won their division. They were 14-3, very good this year. We were 11-6. And then in the West, it was the 49ers who went 11-6 to win their division. And the Seahawks make it back to the postseason, what I thought was going to be a rebuilding year for Seattle. They ended up making it to the playoffs, so good for them. But this is how the playoff bracket does look. We are the 5 seed taking on the 4-seeded Bears, the Saints, and the Raiders, the 1 seed. What I'll do for the playoff games is I will, for the first 2 rounds, the wild card and the divisional, I will just kind of, simcast it, and if it's a close game in the 4th quarter, we'll watch it. But if we make it to the NFC Championship, and especially the Super Bowl, well, the NFC Championship, I'll do the second half, and then the Super Bowl, I will do the whole thing if we make it, and it'll all be in this episode. But let's take a look at the stats from the regular season, shall we? How did we do? We were 9th in offensive yards this year. In terms of defense, we were 24th, so our defense took a step back this year. Offensive points scored, we were 6th, so we were still a pretty good offensive team. But defensively, we were 19th, so we weren't as good in that regard. Taking a look at the yearly awards, your MVP is Patrick Mahomes. He wins it for the second time. Malik Willis was right behind, and we didn't have any representatives. Coach of the year was Mike McCarthy for the Dallas Cowboys. Sean McVay got it, he was 7th for us. In the AFC, we'll go through those quickly. Offensive player of the year was Patrick Mahomes. Defensive was TJ Watt. The rookie was Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick for the Steelers, got it. Defensive rookie of the year for the AFC was BJ Ojulari. He went to the Titans' first-round pick. Best quarterback, Mahomes. Best halfback was Josh Jacobs. Wide receivers, Robbie Anderson again had a great season. And Tyreek Hill and Jaden Blue was a top target. And if you notice, the Jaguars, they went 5-12. They really nosedived this year. Best offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson, the new pick for the Steelers. Their top target, DeForest Buckner for the Colts. TJ Watt was best linebacker. Defensive back was Steven Nelson. And best kicker was Graham Gano. In the NFC side of things, offensive player of the year was Malik Willis. We had Antonio Gibson had another great year. It wasn't record-breaking, but he got 8th. Defensive player of the year, Khalil Mack, again for the Bears. He continues to dominate. Matthew Ioannidis was 7th. And if you notice, Derek Forrest was 10th. He had a phenomenal breakout season in his first chance to start. We'll touch on that more in a little bit. Offensive rookie of the year, George Pickens, the Saints' first-round pick there. Joe Whittington was 3rd, but then he actually got hurt this year, so he wasn't able to really capitalize on a full season. Then Eric Gray was 10th. He really didn't touch the football, so not a lot of offensive rookies in the NFC. Defensive rookie of the year for the NFC, Brian Brees, a first-round pick for the Falcons. We did not have anybody in that spot. Best quarterback was Malik Willis. Derek Carr finished 6th. Best running back was Ezekiel Elliott. Antonio Gibson finished 3rd. Best wide receiver, George Pickens, the rookie, got it. And then Michael Thomas was 2nd. So the Saints' passing offense was crazy good. We didn't have anybody in the top 10. Best offensive lineman, Teron Armstead. So Saints seemed like our favorite. Mitchell Schwartz was 10th. Defensive line, Nick Bosa and Brian Burns topped that spot, followed by Aaron Donald. Matthew Ioannidis was 5th. And then we didn't get anybody there. Actually, did I see? I think I saw. Yeah, we actually got Jonathan Allen at 9th. Best linebacker, Khalil Mack and Chandler Jones are those two. Chase Young was 5th. And then 10th was DeMarvion Overshown, who had a good year for us on defense. Best defensive back, Derek Forrest. He gets it out of nowhere. He ended up getting the best defensive back. He was a ball hawk this season, and we didn't have anybody else. And the best kicker was Zane Gonzalez of the Panthers. Rodrigo Blankenship was 6th. Now we'll take a look at the stats, see what happened. Derek Carr this year, 4,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 62% completion. It was his best year in the past couple of seasons. He got off to a really slow start. I think in that loss to the Cowboys, he had a 3-interception game. And then he really kind of just started to settle down and was a big part of the reason why we won 8 of our last 9 games. So Derek Carr did a pretty good job in the passing game. Antonio Gibson, 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, another great year. Wasn't 2,000, but 1,456 is really good. He had a lot of touchdowns vultured as well. McKissick ended up with 3. Kyron Williams, who actually got hurt, ended up with 5 touchdowns. Derek Carr had 2. And even Terry McLaurin had 1. And Eric Gray had 4 touchdowns on the ground. He only had 12 carries, had 12 yards, but had 4 touchdowns. So, yeah, talk about being vultured. Receiving game, Terry McLaurin led 75 catches, 1,114 yards, and 7 touchdowns. A good year for him. I didn't think we'd get anybody over 1,000, but he was able to eclipse it. Curtis Samuel had a full season for the first time in the series, and he had his best year of his career, 976 yards and 7 touchdowns. Logan Thomas bounced back a little bit, 900 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jordan Whittington had 6 touchdowns, and then he got hurt in the last 2 games, did not play, so he could have added on to his total. Gibson had 2 in the air, and so did J.D. McKissick. One player who really disappointed this year, Zay Flowers, the second-year man at Boston College, with De'Ami Brown being traded in the offseason. I thought he would really step up and get that 3 spot, but he really didn't do anything, and even was benched for a majority year behind Whittington. But even in those last 2 games, Zay Flowers was the number 3 man, and he didn't really do anything, so that was unfortunately a down year for him. Blocking-wise, Donovan Smith was our worst pass blocker, and that was kind of to be expected. He's really gotten older, and I didn't really do a good job of replacing that left side, which is why Flowers is second. And then Schwartz had a pretty good year, so did Chase Roulier and Brandon Scherf. Defensively, DeMarvion Overshown led with 118 tackles. The second-year man out of Texas with a good season, followed by Derek Forrest. Sacks, we didn't have anybody get double-digit sacks, which is very different from a year ago. We were a sacks machine last year. But this year, it was only Jonathan Allen who had 9, Chase Young had 8, Payne had 4, Montez Sweat had 4. Overshown had 3. I think the loss of Ioannidis really affected us in that department. Tackles for loss, Nirvana Payne was first in that spot with 16. Interceptions, our leading interception was Derek Force with 6. That's what I mean. This guy was a ball hawk. 96 tackles, 6 interceptions. He had quite the development this year. He got up to a 78 overall with morale boost and a star dev. He had a breakout chance. He got it. Actually had a game where he had a breakout chance for superstar. He didn't get it, but Derek Force really improved this year. He got better hitting. He got a little faster. He's gotten a little bit better in coverage as well. I mean, a good strong safety for the future, a good replacement for Landon Collins. So it was good to see Derek Forrest step up this year. Kendall Fuller had 2, as well as Isaac Yiadom, and then 1 for Overshown, Cameron Curl, and Rashad Wisdom, the rookie at UTSA. Kicking, we only missed 4 kicks from Rodrigo Blankenship. Punting, we did decent from Tress Way. No kick return touchdowns and no punt return touchdowns for us this season. Going around the league now, the leader in passing yards was Patrick Mahomes with almost 5,600 yards, 47 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions as your MVP. But Malik Willis right behind him, 52, 45, and 6. He even had less interceptions and more completion percentage. So I think you could have made a case for Malik Willis getting player or MVP as well. Matt Ryan with a resurgence of a season, 5,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 17. Jimmy Garoppolo, the replacement for Tom Brady, had 5,000 yards. In terms of touchdown leaders, it was Patrick Mahomes with 47, and then Malik Willis with 45. Matt Ryan, Trevor Lawrence had another great year. Dak Prescott did a good job. Russell Wilson, 42, 37, and 10 in his new home. The interception leader was Jalen Hurts, 20 interceptions. So not a good year for Jalen Hurts, especially going into a offseason where he could be on the move. Ryan with 17. Carson Strong also had 17, and Josh Allen with 16. Your rushing leader was Derrick Henry again, 1,800 yards and 22 touchdowns. Elliott also was right behind him. And then Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson. Rushing touchdowns, Derrick Henry had 22, as well as Ezekiel Elliott, and Josh Jacobs had 20 of his own. Receiving game, the top receiver this year was Robbie Anderson. Again, 116 catches, 1,500 yards. I don't know how this man's been doing it, but Robbie Anderson has been just annihilating defensive backs for the past 2 years. I don't know how he's not a superstar dev too, by the way. And then Jaden Blue, the second-year man out of Temple, had a great year in Kansas City. Let's see, he is a 79 overall normal dev, so kind of came out of nowhere, I think, this year. Yeah, barely played last year. He was a, let's see, where was he selected? He was a 6th round pick like 2 years ago, and he put up 1,500 yards. That was a great pickup by the Kansas City Chiefs. He continued just to add to their game. Paris Campbell had 1,300 or 1,400 basically for the Bucks. George Pickens, 12 touchdowns and 1,300 yards as a rookie. He is a star dev, 82. He was probably the best overall talent in this year's draft class. And the Saints, yeah, that's a good player. Devontae Adams also there. As we'll go by touchdowns. The touchdown leader is actually Hollywood Brown. He had 15 for the Ravens. Tyreek Hill also had 15. 13 for Michael Thomas. 13 for Jordan Addison, my favorite player in the draft class. Had a good year with Carolina. He was 77 overall, actually 79 star dev, and he is insanely fast and can stretch the field. He is a good player. A.J. Brown had 12 for the Titans. George Pickens with 12. Raheem Jarrett as well, and Russell Gage and K.J. Hamler. On blocking wise, the worst player this year was Gerald Christensen, senior of the Bucks, who had 20 sacks allowed, followed by Evan Neal of the Eagles. Leading sackler this year was Roquan Smith, who had 146. Leading sacks was 22.5 for Nick Bosa, so a career year for him. Interceptions, Derek Forrest led the way with his 6, followed by Kevin Joseph of the Cowboys and C.J. Gardner-Johnson of the Saints. Do we have any? We had a couple of kick return touchdowns. Drake London of the Steelers, Tyler Aguirre of the Titans, Kadarius Toney of the Giants, Bijan Robinson of the Packers, and Austin Jones of the Jaguars. Punt returns, we did not have a punt return touchdown this year in the NFL. So that does it for the stats kind of roundup. We'll see how we do in our first game in the wild card round, going to Chicago to face the Bears. I'll simcast the first 3 quarters, and we'll see what happens. And if it's close, we'll jump into the 4th quarter. So it's Soldier Field for the wild card game. Justin Fields leads the Bears out. Bears finished 8-9 this year. They did win the North, but were not very impressive. So let's go ahead and get to simcasting, see how the beginning of this game, or Super Sim, starts to unfold. So we'll jump forward now to the next quarter. And in the first quarter, looks like the Thunderbirds get off to a 7-0 lead. Bears follow back with 3 of their own. Going into the second quarter now, Bears with the football get 6, so they take the lead, but then we take it right back 14-10, and it's actually going to be 21-10 going into the half as we start to pull away. We'll see how the third quarter goes as we get another field goal, 24-10, field goal for the Bears, 24-13, 24-19 in favor of the Bears. We'll continue to super sim. I think we'll end up winning this game as we go into the fourth quarter. Yeah, we get another touchdown, 31-19. Bears running out of time, cannot do anything. We actually get another one, 38-19. The Toronto Thunderbirds are victorious in this one. Let's take a look at the stats to see how this one unfolded. Yeah, just kind of took it away in the fourth quarter. Derek Carr played pretty good, 25 for 36, 374 yards, 382 for Fields, so a great passing day for both teams. Carr, though, had 3 touchdowns, while Fields had 1 and 2 picks, so good day for Derek Carr. In the rushing department, David Montgomery led, but Gibson had 14 for 56 and a touchdown, so not a good ground day, but Kyron Williams also added 1 on the ground. Receiving-wise, Darnell Mooney led everybody else, but we had 7 for 109 from Logan Thomas and a score, so good to see Logan Thomas getting involved. 6 for 108 for McLaurin, and then 2 touchdowns for Zay Flowers. I said he had a bad regular season. Hopefully he can have a good postseason because we don't have Jordan Whittington to be that number 3 guy. Good to see him get 2 touchdowns. Sacks, 1.5 for Akeem Hicks, 1.5 for Allen, as well as Drake Jackson, Young, and D. Ford had 1. And then a half sack for Herndon and Johnson. And the picks came from DeMarvion Overshone and Derek Forrest. So the young guys really stepping up for us, which is good to see. But we win the wild card matchup, and we'll have to see who we play in the divisional round. So we'll be playing the 16-1 New Orleans Saints in the division round. We get the toughest draws. It looks like all the home teams, the other home teams won. Yeah, the Cowboys beat the Seahawks, and then the 49ers beat the Falcons in a close game. On the other side, the 2-seed Titans went down to the 7-seed Browns. Remember last year, the Ravens were actually a 7-seed, and they made it to the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Ravens, they won their matchup against the Chiefs in a great game. Jackson gets the best of the MVP, Mahomes. And then Jonathan Allen beats the Bengals 21-14. So these are your remaining 8 teams. We got to play the Saints, so we'll see how this one goes. All right, so we're here at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, where Malik Willis walks out of the tunnel. A sensational year for the second-year quarterback out of Liberty, as the Saints have really started to put themselves as a juggernaut. A very good mix of veteran talent as well as young superstars they can build around. This is going to be a tough matchup. Let's see what happens in the divisional round as we'll super sim again. Jump to the end of the first quarter as Saints get a quick touchdown. They take a 7-0 lead in quarter number 1. Going into quarter number 2, we have the football. I have to give it to the Saints, who score again, so 14-0 in favor of the Saints. At halftime, going into quarter 3, we have yet to find the end zone. We actually get 3, so it's 14-3. Get another one, 14-6. We're down by 8, so let's actually watch the rest of this game and see what happens. All right, so Malik Willis and the Saints are on offense. They're actually inside the red zone here at the 19-yard line as the fourth quarter begins. Drops back to pass over the middle, has a man. That's a first down. Thunderbirds have yet to get a sack this day, as it looks like we've really struggled in that department. Ooh, I meant to, we'll jump to the end of the quarter. So now first and goal from the 7 for the Saints. As Willis back to pass. Get some pressure, and there is the first sack. Couple men around the edge. Chase Young and Montez Sweat, who've been doing it for a few seasons for us, finally bring down Malik Willis. Good job backing them up now. Second and goal from the 15. As hopefully we can at least force 3 here. Willis back to pass again. Pocket is collapsing. There's another man in his face. This time, Daron Payne gets home, and the defensive line is finally starting to put the pressure on. Third and goal from the 26. So, actually, hopefully we can get another sack and force them out of field goal range. Otherwise, they have a shot at kicking 3. Willis short pass in the flats is Alvin Kamara, who gets some yards. So, looks like we're probably going to force a field goal, as Malik Willis has 2 touchdown passes today. Sorry to hear my dog in the background. 37-yard attempt is up and through the uprights. So a 17-6 lead here in the fourth quarter for the Saints. So We'll have to see what the Thunderbirds offense can do with the football as time is starting to wind down in this one. Looks like it'll be taken out of the end zone by Antonio Gibson, who will get it to about the 24. So not the best decision. That's a generous 25. I don't think he quite got there. Looks like the Raiders beat the Browns in the AFC side of things. They doubled them up. And we get our first look at Derek Carr in this series as the new quarterback in Toronto. He drops back to throw 1st and 10 from the 25. Carr lets it fly left side, and they're going to rule that a catch. I didn't think that was a grab. A good control by Jesse Bates on the sideline, but New Orleans does challenge the play. I think this might be a good challenge. I think he got the left foot down. Wasn't entirely sure if he got the right inbounds. And yeah, I don't think he had possession of that one. Yeah, that one's coming back. But a good effort, though, by Jesse Bates. As now it's 2nd and 10. Empty set here for the Thunderbirds. Carr back to throw. Fires left side. That one was almost intercepted. Trying to find Terry McLaurin. And just like that, we face 3rd and 10. Not a very good day for Derek Carr. Only 19 attempts, 150 yards in this one. It's now 3rd and 10. Carr lets it fly left side, and that one is incomplete. Looking for McLaurin again, but good defense forces him out of bounds. And Toronto has to punt the football, and this could be game possession. You can't let New Orleans score here as the Lefty Tressway boots it deep. This one is fielded and thankfully immediately tackled down. But the Saints have the football at the 32-yard line, where this dynamic offense has been rolling. Underneath center, man in motion across the formation. Willis will take it. It's a toss out left to Kamara, who will outrun the defense. Breaks a tackle and gets about 9. Good running there by Alvin Kamara. And that'll help him eclipse the century mark. 106 on the ground today for Kamara. He stays in the backfield now. Single back set. Willis underneath center again. Stretch give to Kamara, who has a 1st down before being met by Chase Young. Gain of 5. And the Saints just look like they're content with running some clock here. Only about 10 minutes left in this ball game. Now they have a new set of downs in the shotgun at their own 46. It's a draw play, though, to Kamara, and he's swallowed up at the line. Nice play on that left side. As they get to him, Deron Payne was there, but also some more help. It was a loss of 1. Makes it now 2nd and 11 for the Saints. Man in motion across the formation. They fake the flip to Bell. Now Willis has time, throws left side, has a man open, gets away from the defense, hits the tight end. That was Derek Forrest in coverage. He's been very good this season, but still struggles in man coverage. And it was on display there. Adam Trotman, 5 for 71 today. He's had himself a good day. Go back to the ground now, 1st and 10 from the 30. Kamara gets 1 before Yamin Davis is there to meet him. We're going to say he got 2, now 2nd and 6. Ravens beat the Bills today, so it's going to be Raiders-Ravens on the AFC side of things. Well, the 49ers beat the Cowboys, so the Cowboys continue to choke in the playoffs, but Alvin Kamara gets loose on this play, runs it to the 5, 1st and goal from the 5 for the Saints. This could all but do it, as now they're in the shotgun here, less than 8 minutes to go. Looking to take more points on the board. Spun down quickly. That was Warren the second, who gives Kamara a break. Touchdown in an extra point would put them up by 18, which would be a 3-score game. So Saints looking to end this one. They go empty here, looking to spread out the defense. Quick pass to Trotman, and he has himself a touchdown. That is an 18-point lead for the Saints, pending the extra point, which they have it all set up. It's up, and it is good. 24-6 in favor of the Saints. This one's kind of turned into a blowout. We'll watch one more possession from the Thunderbirds, but if they don't do anything here, we will probably just call this one, as the Saints have all the momentum as well. Kick back deep to Gibson, who fields it in the end zone. Is going to take it out and get swallowed up at the 19-yard line. Not a good decision by the former NFL MVP. And you can tell the Thunderbirds are starting to feel it. They're going to go empty here on 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. Carr drops back, quick throw over the middle. That's going to get some space. That's Zay Flowers spun down after a quick gain of 15. So far today, that's his first grab of the day. So Zay Flowers had another quiet day in this one. And bring Gibson back into the backfield here on 1st and 10 from the 34. Carr, though, going to try to set up a screen for Gibson, and that one was not ready. As Carr 13 for 22, not a good accuracy day for the former Raider. 2nd and 10 now, 6:21 left to go in this ball game. Quick 3-step drop. Carr spins, dumps it off to Gibson, but he's going to be chased and pushed out of bounds. Big loss there. They're actually going to say that was a rush, but now it's 3rd and 16 for the Thunderbirds, and you're probably in 4-down territory, so you got to make something happen here. Your backs are against the wall. Carr back to throw, trying to set up another screen for Gibson. He does get away from the defender and gets another gain of 6, but now it's 4th and 11, and they are going to go for it here. This is the ball game. Carr in the shotgun. Saints, they're looking to bring pressure, only bring 4. Carr, though, takes a deep shot, floats this one down the left side. He has a man, but overthrows him. Samuel had a step on Eli Ricks, the rookie corner. He's had a great day today, and that will basically be the dagger, as after this play, we will exit out of this one. So Malik Willis gives off to Kamara as they look to run some clock. That is a 1st down, another red zone trip for the Saints. And yeah, we will just simulate this one to the end, as the Saints would not put up any more points, it looks like, and they win 24-6. So we never find the end zone, and our run at defending the Super Bowl ends in the divisional round to the New Orleans Saints. Tough loss here for the Thunderbirds. Will not be able to go back-to-back. Carr did not have a good game in this one. 17 for 32, 201 yards, and an interception. That is not good. Kamara 161 on the ground, but nobody found the end zone on the ground, as Gibson had 60. 6 for 86 was your leading receiver for the entire game, as it was Logan Thomas, but Trotman had the touchdown for the Saints. George Pickens and Michael Thomas also found the end zone. Sacks, Marcus Davenport and Montez Sweat with the second half. 1 for Payne, and the half sacks for Eli Ricks, Cameron Jordan, Pete Werner, and Chase Young. And the interception went to Pete Werner. But we are knocked out. We'll have to see what happens the rest of the way. So we jump to the Super Bowl, and no surprise, it is both 1 seeds, the Raiders and the Saints, who move on to the big game. And we'll see, we'll have to simulate, see who ends up as the Super Bowl champions in the final year of the series. And it ends up being the Las Vegas Raiders. They win 31-17 over the New Orleans Saints. They gamble with the trade for Russell Wilson, and in the first year it pays off. They cash in with a Super Bowl, a great season for the Raiders. They knock off the Saints, who only lost 1 game this year. Nick Kwiatkowski was your Super Bowl MVP, and for the 4th time, it is the Raiders. So that'll bring us to the end of the series. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I just kind of wanted to wrap up the series. It just didn't feel good if I just left it where I did, so this puts a bow at the end of things. We will be back for Madden NFL 23, so I will be doing a Madden 23 series. I just think I was getting kind of tired of playing Madden. You know, Madden hasn't honestly been that good for the past couple years. So hopefully the next couple of months off with no football really helped me miss it, and we'll jump back into Madden NFL 23. And I have my choice down to 3 teams, but I'll let you guys know in a couple of months who I will be doing. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for sticking with the series. I know it's been, very, a lot of change on the channel recently, but I wanted to wrap up this series as well as bring back the Cubs yesterday, which will be back tomorrow in terms of gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop that like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.